Hello guys, and welcome to my first video on this channel. And by now you probably have already read the title. Where does Sonic fail and succeed as a franchise? Basically, this is a very controversial question, and nobody really knows. In the long run, Sonic doesn't really fail as a franchise, but he also doesn't really succeed. The reason he doesn't really succeed is not because the games are bad, it's Sega's and Sonic teams lack of freaking quality control in their games. Let's just get it freaking everything and just see how really wrong Sonic can go. First of all, we're just going to use a prime example for how wrong and how terrible a Sonic game can get using basically what people say is the worst Sonic game of all time. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 or Sonic '06. Everything is wrong with Sonic '06. There's glitches, the plot is terrible. There's freaking Elise and Eggman is disgusting. Eggman is a very good character and he's funny and I don't want to see Eggman looking serious because it just looks weird. He looks weird looking serious. But that's not the problem. The thing is that what makes the game really bad, what makes Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 really bad, is not that the game itself is bad, it's just that it has so many glitches, making it just freaking god awful. It's just a no good game. It's just no good. Just like really terrible game. Glitches are a main point and why it's so bad. Not that the game itself is bad, it's just that so many glitches. You can't even play through the first mission without falling through the floor. Here's another example. Sonic 4, Episode 1. The physics in that game basically make Sonic stick to the freaking ground. And it doesn't help that there are freaking terrible physics. Sonic looks like he's covered in baby oil. And everything is just too bright. And basically, Splash Hill Zone, garbage level, it's just a ripoff of Green Hill Zone. They make it sound so hard like it's supposed to be retro. Yet they fail at it. It just sounds terrible. The music sounds terrible in that game. They freaking tried so hard making it to make it sound retro and all that crap, but it just sounds terrible in the long run. Nothing really is good about that game. Maybe if you're just a big Sonic fan, you might find enjoyment in that game, but nobody really does. It's just kind of a bad, no good game. But here's another example of how a Sonic game can go wrong. Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Boy Advance. I don't even need to tell you about Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Boy Advance. You should already know that game is slow, glitchy. Sonic feels way too heavy. And you just can't see anything on screen. You just can't. But here's the thing. It's just a very bad GBA port. We've seen very talented people in the Sonic the Hedgehog community make a good Game Boy Advance Sonic the Hedgehog port faster and better than Sega and Sonic Team could themselves. Okay, now that we're done discussing how bad a Sonic game can go, how bad a Sonic game can go, we're just gonna get this out of the way and say how good a Sonic game can go. I have some prime examples of just really how terrible or how good a Sonic game can go. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Some people's absolute favorite Sonic game of all time, or Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. One of the biggest Sonic games of all time. So many new levels and new ideas. But the thing that ruins basically my entire experience of that game is that stupid Carnival Zone. That freaking barrel of freaking doom. It's terrible and I don't like it. Why'd they have to add that stupid thing? But here's the best part about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And makes it worth playing, even though that god awful barrel exists. The game. It's just how a Sonic game should be. Let's just go ahead and freaking go to my favorite Sonic game of all time. Sonic CD, released for the Sega CD in 1992 or 1993. I'm not very sure. But it's just the prime example of how just good a Sonic game can get. It has really, really, really good music. Except if you're playing on the US soundtrack. Then it has one of the most terrifying tracks of all time, aka the boss and game over tracks. And one final thing. Here's a few more examples. Sonic Colors for the Wii. Thing is it's a good game, except at times it's just very dark. Here's another example. Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, Sonic Generations, Sonic Mania, the first 3 Sonic the Hedgehog games, including CD. And am I missing one? And basically, I'm not very sure, but this might be a controversial opinion, but maybe Sonic R, but I'm not very sure. I don't really like Sonic R. But there's way more games that are good. Oh yeah, Sonic Unleashed. If I already mentioned Sonic Unleashed. But there's way more good games in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise than there are bad games. Okay, so where Sonic succeeds as a franchise is how good the games can be. There's one of my favorite games of all time is a Sonic game. You want to guess which one it is? Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Or Sonic CD the Hedgehog. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Sonic CD is one of my favorite games of all time. But here's the thing. It will just stop you from freaking randomly because of stupid springs. They're just freaking everywhere. It's super difficult at times. Except the bosses. Those things are freaking easy. Bosses in that game are stupid easy. And Sonic Generations? Let's just list off the pros and cons of all of those games. Sonic Generations, really good game. Sonic CD, really good game. Sonic 4, here's the pros and cons of the bad games. Sonic Heroes, pros. Okay plot. Cons. Terrible glitches. Storyline is everywhere. Eggman looks terrible. And Sonic is just way too light blue. Oh, and I forgot another bad Sonic game. Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog. Actually, no, it's not that bad. It's just mediocre at best. At worst, it's probably just mediocre. It's a very mediocre Sonic game. But it's not even a Sonic game. It's a Shadow game. And frick. The pros and cons of Sonic GBA. You could take it. You could take it anywhere. It's Sonic 1. Cons. Sonic feels way too heavy. You can't see anything that's happening on the freaking screen. Last con? I don't know about this one. What is another bad part about Sonic GBA? You die too often because you can't see anything that's going on. I don't know. What else is bad about Sonic? Sonic for the GBA. Okay, let's go to our next example for a bad game done terribly wrong. Terrible game. Done completely wrong. What is that other game I listed? Sonic 06. Sonic GBA. There's another game. Frick, I don't know. I have no idea what other game I listed. So, if you could just tell me, I might make a follow-up video just discussing the rest of the games. But until then, this has been This has been freaking guy with a hat, a guy with a red mask, I guess, red mask guy or something. I don't know.